Greetings to all. This is the prestigious forum, the Society for Endangered and Lesser Known Languages. This evening, we all are here to attend For SEL by SEL series, and this is the third session of the series. Thank you all for your august presence. The Society for Endangered and Lesser Known Languages was founded by Professor Kavita Rastogi in the year 2011 and was formally registered in 2015. And the society aims to preserve, promote, and revitalize lesser known and endangered languages by bringing together like-minded people to document such languages, describe their grammars, and prepare dictionaries and pedagogical materials for the native communities. Every year, SEL organizes International Conference for Endangered and Lesser Known Languages, also called ELKL, in various universities and institutes across the country. SEL also makes provision for the linguists and language activists to publish their work on lesser known and endangered languages in their bilingual, biannual, peer-reviewed e-journal, Wak Manthan. SEL encourages and trains dedicated, passionate researchers through workshops and various online lectures. The society also takes efforts to provide small funds to those who are working on such languages, oral languages or lesser known languages in the remote regions of the country. The For SEL by SEL series generally consists of 4 sessions where the members of SEL present their ongoing research and the experts who are senior SEL members, senior SEL members, provide them with suggestions or guidelines. This evening, our presenter is Ritu Santh, who is a PhD scholar at IIT Kharagpur. She's a senior research fellow. Her theme of presentation is language mixing in the contact varieties of northern Kasaragod. And our guest expert of this evening is an eminent linguist who needs not much introduction. She's the former professor of the Department of Linguistics and Language Technology, Tezpur University, and who has immense contribution as a coordinator of the Center for Endangered Languages, Tezpur University, Professor Madhumita Barbora. Her areas of interest are in the domains of syntax, field linguistics, documentation of Tibeto-Burman languages of Northeast India, and applied linguistics. She has a phenomenal work in Bugun, a lesser known language of West Kamen district of Arunachal Pradesh, which bestowed Bugun Reader along with language content and convergence study and grammatical description of Bugun. Besides this, she has worked extensively in Assamese, contributing to the book Modern Aspects of Assamese. Further, her research on various grammatical aspects of lesser known languages extended to Missing, Nokte, Deuri, Aka, Koro, among many other languages. Welcome to the forum, Professor Madhumita. Thank you so much for making yourself available this evening for your expert comments.
Good evening. Vishaka, good evening.
Welcome, good evening.
Yeah.
So nice to see you.
Yeah.
I hope you are keeping well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so now I would like to invite Ritu Santh to present her research on language mixing in the contact varieties of northern Kasaragod. Before that, I would like to say that I have organized this session into 3 parts. The first part being the presentation, the second part is for the audience comments and remarks, and the third part will include the experts' suggestions and comments. Okay, so Ritu Santh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope the PPT is...
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Ritu Santh, and before I begin my presentation, I would actually like to extend my sincere thanks to the organizers of SAIL for giving me this opportunity, especially Kavita ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to share some findings from my research in this platform. And I'm a senior research fellow. I'm doing PhD under the supervision of Dr. Drupta Piplai in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, IIT Kharagpur. In this talk, I will present select findings from my fieldwork collected along the Kerala-Karnataka border, with a particular focus on the patterns of language mixing observed in the linguistic varieties spoken in northern Kasaragod. While the focus of today's talk is more specific, my broader research objective is to investigate syntactic variation in non-standard language varieties. I approach this inquiry from a multidisciplinary perspective, integrating insights from sociolinguistics, contact linguistics, quantitative linguistics, a little bit of statistical tools I have used for my research work, and formal syntax. For the formal analysis, I have used the exoskeletal framework, but I will not be dealing with the formal analysis in this talk today. So the topic for today's presentation is language mixing in the contact varieties of northern Kasaragod. So in the left-hand side, we can see the map of India. The orange marked towards the bottom of the map towards the southernmost end is Kerala, and in the northernmost end of Kerala is the Kasaragod district, which is colored in maroon. So if you see the right-hand side, we can see that Kasaragod shares its borders with Karnataka, and thus the linguistic landscape is mixed, is very vibrant. In the next slides, I'll be talking about the languages of this region. So a brief sociolinguistic profiling. If we see the map to the right, the entire map is the Kasaragod district, and our focus is in the northernmost parts of Kasaragod. So the Manjeshwaram constituency, which is the northernmost constituency of Kerala, which shares borders with the South Kannada district of Karnataka. And for our study, we have specifically focused on the region marked with lavender color. The panchayats are Minja, Manjeshwaram, Paivelige, and Vorkadi, and most of our respondents are from Minja Grama Panchayat. Now to the linguistic ecology of this region, there are 4 major languages. By major, I mean numerically. Tulu is the largest population, Tulu speakers, they are the largest population there. Then there are Malayalam speakers, which I have termed as Northern Kasaragod variety of Malayalam, which has got morphosyntactic features which are different from the formal spoken Malayalam in the other districts of formal spoken Malayalam, which is spoken in throughout across Kerala. And there is Konkani, which has also got influences of this region. So NKV Konkani and Kannada. The other languages of the region are Koraga, which is a particularly vulnerable, it is one of the PVTGs of Kerala. And there is Marathi speakers, but they are very fewer in number. Then there are Byari or Naknik speakers, which is also considered as a variety of Kannada, but there are studies which claim that it can be considered as a different speech variety or a different language as well. Then there is Havyaka Kannada, predominantly spoken by the Havyaka Brahmins. Then there are Urdu speakers, Arabic speakers, and Karade Kannada speakers. These are all numerically minority languages, and the speakers are lesser in number. Now the socio-linguistic dialect metrics of the region. This is a very preliminary overview. So the northern Kasaragod variety of Tulu, the Tulu speakers of there is a history behind this. Before the state reorganization in 1956, this entire region that I have showed in the map, it was all part of the Tulu Nadu. Tulu Nadu means land of Tulus. So the Tulu speakers, but post the state reorganization, this entire region, which includes the northernmost parts of Kerala and the southern parts of Karnataka, the South Canara district of Karnataka, including Udupi district, all of these were part of Tulunadu, which then got bifurcated. So one part of it went to Kerala and one part of it went to Karnataka. So this political reorganization or the state reorganization has actually, it has had certain impacts on the languages of the region or the linguistic landscape of the region per se, because each state has its own standardized or official languages, Malayalam being the official language of Kerala and Kannada being the official language of Karnataka. So in this matrix, it's a preliminary overview. In this, we can see that the Tulu is spoken by most of the speakers, and they are from non-Brahmin Hindu communities, Jains. These are the communities, and also Brahmins, but they are fewer in number in this region. It might not be the case in northern parts, like say Udupi, but within the Kerala borders, they are fewer in number. And NKV Malayalam, this is the second largest speakers we can find from this speech variety, and they belong to the Muslim community. And there are also a few other communities which speak Malayalam, but they are non-Brahmin Hindu communities. All these caste or religion-based distinctions become significant because of the hierarchies. There is multilingual hierarchy in this region. Hierarchical multilingualism is very much prevalent, and it is very evident in their day-to-day affairs, in their aspirations, in the language that is used in schools or job. And there is northern Kasaragod variety of Kannada predominantly spoken by the Brahmin community. And there are also Konkani speakers. These Konkani speakers are migrants from Goa, and they have migrated to this region in 16th and 17th centuries in multiple phases. So Christians they are from the southern parts of Goa, and the Gauda Saraswati Brahmins, they came from the northern parts of Goa. So their language has always been a little different. Along with that, now it has got influences from this northern Kasaragod region as well, which prior to this included the South Canara region also. So this entire area has high degree of multilingualism. I would call it a partially trilingual region, because in many cases we could see that most of the speakers, at least who are about 30 years of, at least 25 years, about 25 years of age, they could pretty well understand their L1, whichever it is, then Kannada and Tulu. And nowadays, the situation is changing. The younger generation, people who are 15 years and below, they are becoming more and more monolingual, mostly because of lesser exposure to the other languages, or mostly because of the rigidities that has been there in this region for quite some time now. And
software
hello?
Hello.
Hello? Okay, there was some disturbance. I could hear some voice from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's a highly stratified society. As I have mentioned, religious, caste identities matter, culture, language, all of these are different. And there are other social-linguistic correlates like age, gender, exposure to media. Then the medium of instruction in school. There are about 18 schools in this region, government and government-aided schools. And most of these schools are Kannada medium schools. In the specific area where I work, in the Minja Grama Panchayat, the biggest school, which has students from class LKG to 12th standard, it's a completely Kannada medium school, wherein the other languages are not even the other major languages, Tulu or Malayalam, they are not even taught as a subject. And recently they have started initiatives because of the state has pressured them to do it, but in most of the schools it is still not taught even as a subject, as one of the languages. Then the common bilingual, multilingual combinations I have found was there are NKV Malayalam speakers, which with L1 speakers, L1 Malayalam speakers, they would have the second languages Tulu and Kannada. Kannada definitely because they have studied it in school, they are studying it in school. But nowadays the situation is also changing. The NKV Malayalam speakers, the Tulu is now being sidelined, and they would know Malayalam and Kannada. Again, Tulu speakers, L1, they would know Kannada, and now they wouldn't know Malayalam. Konkani speakers also moving to Kannada, and Koraga and Marathi speakers, they have completely moved to Tulu. Koraga and Marathi, also Naiks, all of them had their own indigenous languages, which has now been completely, they have all shifted to Tulu. There is no active intergenerational transfer of language. So the primary objectives of this study are to examine the nature of language mixing in the contact varieties of Northern Kasaragod, to investigate the patterns of contact-induced changes and shared linguistic traits among the non-standard contact varieties of Kannada, Malayalam, Tulu, and Konkani in the linguistic convergence area at the Kerala-Karnataka border. So I'll go with the some key findings, and it's mostly because for my own study, for my PhD research, I have concentrated mostly on the NKV Malayalam and the morphosyntactic features, which I found different or which had got influences from Kannada or Tulu or other regional languages of the region. So first finding is that there is omission of copula B in the present tense in equative sentences, in equative constructions. So standard Malayalam, there are two copulas which are identified, ana and unda. In standard Malayalam, equative copula ana has to be obligatorily used in present, past, and future tense in equative sentences. So if we see sentence example A, NKV Malayalam, Nyanga ellarum teacher. We are teachers. We do not find ana the copula. But in standard Malayalam, even in spoken speech, it is obligatorily used. Whereas in none of the other languages of this region, none of the other South Dravidian languages, be it Tulu, Kannada, or even Tamil, they do not have this feature. So literature also says that Malayalam used to have copula. Malayalam might have, it probably might have an innovation in standard Malayalam and not the other way around. So use of equative copula in present tense in NKV languages, NKV Kannada, Avalu Shikshagi Agidale. I have given examples from Kannada, Tulu, Konkani, Marathi, and Malayalam. In all these, we can see that the copula is not present. It is omitted. So in Kannada, in standard Kannada also, it is not there. Tulu also, it is not attested. In Konkani, there is existing literature which says that Konkani has a lot of influences from Dravidian languages, and in Konkani, it is optional at times and omitted most of the times. In equative sentences, it is omitted, and in attributive constructions, it is optional. And in NKV Marathi, it is omitted. But if you see the standard literature of Marathi, it is not omitted. It is present. And in NKV Malayalam also, it is omitted. Then the second finding is there is subject-verb agreement marking on copula B in past tense in NKV Malayalam. So this is also another feature which we might not be able to find in standard Malayalam because standard Malayalam lacks subject-verb agreement. In the past tense equative constructions, copula B is obligatorily used and they are marked for 5 features. We will look at the examples soon. This is unlike standard Malayalam. And however, it is a characteristic feature of other South Dravidian languages, including Tulu and Kannada. So these are the examples. So if you can see, the standard Malayalam In all these combinations, we can see that ഞാൻ teacher ആയിരുന്നു. Whether it is first person, second person, singular, plural, or gender-based distinctions, male, female, or neuter, in all these cases, ആയിരുന്നു. A single form is being used. There is no change in the morphophonological exponent. However, in NKV Malayalam, we can see that with respect to change in person number and gender, there are changes in the morphosyntactic there are changes in the morphophonological exponents attached to the verb. So with first person singular, we can see aitundanya. With first person plural, aitundanyo, with nasalization. And if it is a second person, then aitundanya, aitundanyo, and aitundaya, and they were teachers, aitundayari. This is very common, and it is still one of the features that is retained, be it especially even among younger population of NKV speakers. We could get examples where the ari, that exponent, is being used for plural marking. Copular constructions in past tense across NKV languages. So Kannada, we can see that there is some person number gender agreement. For third person singular female, it would be agidalu. And if we see Konkani also, there is agreement. In Marathi, there is no agreement. In Tulu, in all the South Dravidian languages and Konkani, we could see agreement. Third is, it is very similar to the second one, not just in copular constructions. There is presence of subject-verb agreement in NKV Malayalam, and it is a feature common to all South Dravidian languages, including Kannada and Tulu, whereas standard Malayalam lacks subject-verb agreement. So the NKV Malayalam tense head carries unvalued 5 features that are obligatorily valued by the external argument. We could also see age-graded variation. There is a progressive decline in the SVA usage across successive age cohorts. So if we see children from 15 to 18 years of age, there is a marked reduction, or at times there is complete loss of subject-verb agreement. Whereas in older speakers, it is consistently used. Now I have given some examples from narrations. ഞങ്ങൾ കാസർഗോഡ് നിന്ന് അവിടുന്ന് ട്രെയിന് കയറിനോ. We boarded the train from Kasaragod. This is a sentence by a female who is 59 years old. So if we see the highlighted part, there is subject-verb agreement. Same, and if we see example number 2 and 3, it is the same sentence. It is the same sentence translated into NKV Malayalam, not actually translated. These sentences we have got through narrations from picture books and free narrations. Our makateke povunna charcha aikondullari. That is the aikundullari. Ari is the marker for third person plural. Whereas a child of 14 years of age would have the use mundikondundu. There is no undu will be the default form for all the person number gender markers. Whether it is first person, second person, third person, or any gender, it would be undu. So here undu is being used instead of ullari. So there are many other examples where we could find it, and we were trying to do a statistical analysis of it. Past tense subject-verb agreement across the verb to eat in NKV languages. So here we can see the examples from standard Malayalam, NKV Malayalam, Kannada, and Tulu. In all these, again, NKV Malayalam, Kannada, and Tulu, all these three languages, they show subject-verb agreement, whereas standard Malayalam does not. So there is literature which says that standard Malayalam used to have it. In the older inscriptions, some of the inscriptions did have subject-verb agreement markers, but not as evident in Malayalam, in NKV Malayalam, Kannada, or Tulu, or Tamil for that matter. So this is the basic analysis without the exoskeletal modeling per se. Here we have found that there is influence of Kannada and Tulu morphosyntactic features on NKV Malayalam. And there are retention of older forms. And in the examples also, we have seen that though they have subject-verb agreement, we cannot see that there is diffusion of features probably, but not the forms. So the overall grammatical structure and most of the lexical content morphemes are coming from Malayalam, but the inflections, the feature, they exhibit Kannada or Tulu influence. Or probably NKV Malayalam retained the older form that was available in Malayalam and the nearby older languages. And when Standard Malayalam evolved, they have retained the older Dravidian features. Now going to the clefting in NKV Malayalam. Clefting in NKV Malayalam lacks an overt copula, unlike Standard Malayalam, and it marks focus syntactically through fixed clause final position. Before explaining this, I'll go to the next slide, show some examples, and then come back to this slide. Clef constructions in Standard Malayalam. Eli Puchake Pustagam Aichu. This is not a cleft sentence. 1 is not a cleft sentence. 2, 3, and 4 are. Here we can see that the clefted element, as the clefted element moves the position, there is change in meaning. In 2, when the clefted element is placed in the initial position, it was the mouse who sent a book to the cat. When we change the position in 3, the meaning becomes it was the cat that the mouse sent a book to. Again, in 4, the meaning changes as the clefted element is, the position of the clefted element changes. This scrambling, short distance scrambling is possible in Malayalam, but we'll see that it is not possible in NKV Malayalam or the other languages of the region. So clefting in Standard Malayalam, there is use of copula ana, and the structure, the finite verb will be nominalized along with the addition of ana. The finite verb, ayachadu, that is nominalized, and there is ana. And in Standard Malayalam, there is adjacency principle. The focused element and the copula must occur in adjacent positions. Now we'll see examples from other languages of the region, clefting strategies. Ramizayana innale Dubaiku poyathu. That is Malayalam. It means that it was Ramiza who went to Dubai yesterday. If we see NKV Malayalam, innale Dubaiku poyathu Ramiza. If we have to focus on Ramisa should always come in the sentence final position. And there is no addition of ana, so the scrambling will not be possible. Same is the case with Kannada and Tulu. Nenne Dubaige hodavalu Ramisa, Kode Dubaigu poinavu Ramisa. In both these examples, it is sentence final positioning. Now we'll go back to the old slide. Clefting in NKVM lacks an overt copula. It has the same nominalization strategy as Standard Malayalam, verb plus other. And the focus is expressed by a fixed sentence final position. Here the focus is marked syntactically, not morphophonologically. And it resembles Kannada and Tulu clefs. And the fixed word order actually compensates for the lack of ana. So short distance scrambling will not be possible. Next, I have some common examples. Instances of creation of novel words with shared roots. The uncategorized root is drawn from language A, while the verbal inflections, that means the morphophonological exponents, they come from respective language varieties. So this is a very easy example, the verb to finish. After finishing the job, if we have to say that in all these 3 varieties of the region, like Kannada, Konkani, and Tulu, it is kelasa, which is a word from Kannada, which is job. And again, the verb to finish, mugdunu, mugisi, mugipada, mugitada. But these are not actually the words, these are not actually the verbs in Konkani for the verb finish. Here again, someone knows English here. The focus is on the verb to know. So if we see all the examples, NKV Malayalam, it is gontundu. But in Malayalam, in the so-called Standard Malayalam or the formal spoken Malayalam, the verb is ariyam, ariyuka. Ariyuka is the verb. Same is the case with Konkani. Konkani has a different verb, whereas NKV Konkani has got the verb gottasa. Asa is the agreement marker, but verb is gotta. And so in all these cases, we have seen that the root verb is the same. They all share the same root verb, but the morphophonological exponents are coming from the respective languages. Then there is a syncretism in plus animate instrumental case marker for Konkani, Tulu, and Malayalam, but that is also not the case in its respective standard varieties. Then there is loss of aspirated bilabial nasal m and alveolar nasal n from the phonetic inventory of Konkani. But this I could find only in the varieties spoken by the Christians of the region. Have seen that the Konkani speakers who belong to the Gauda Saraswat community, they still retain it. So I actually don't have evidence to show that it was it actually there in the older version that was spoken when they were in Goa. I actually don't have an idea about it. So to conclude, there is intense language contact in this region, and it has reshaped or sometimes retained the core grammatical features across the NKV varieties. As we have discussed, there is copula variation in present tense, omission of overt copula in equatives, NKV Malayalam, and there is presence of subject-verb agreement in NKV Malayalam, mirroring Tulu and Kannada. Again, same with the clefting strategy, there is lack of an overt copula, and this has been compensated by fixed clause final focus marking. This also aligns with the other regional languages of this place, Kannada and Tulu. There is lexical diffusion, and there are evidences of phonological change. So I would like to sincerely thank my supervisor, Dr. Tripta Piplai Mandal, for all her support and guidance throughout this research, and Mr. Naushad from Minja and all the language consultants from Northern Kasaragod for their time, for their effort, and their insights and experiences that they shared with me is invaluable for this work. Again, I would like to thank the organizers for Sel By Sel for providing me this platform to share my research. So this is an unpublished work. It is under the process of publishing. So I would really request all of you to get my permission before using it anywhere else. These are the key references. Thank you.
That's very interesting, Ritu. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
A really good presentation. I would request the audience, if you have any comments, suggestions, questions. I will first ask the audience to make their remarks and comments before I request the expert. For how long, Ritu, you are taking data?
I started collecting data from 2021 and till 2024 I collected.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I did my pilot study during COVID. So that was in 2020, but that was a very extensive pilot work because this area was very new to me. I'm from the far south. So initially I had to go there to find which all places So initially I collected data not just from the areas that I mentioned now. Also, I have collected data from the eastern side. Then I actually fixed on the Minja Grama Panchayat and nearby areas. Because by then I have decided that I would be mostly focusing on the NKV variety of Malayalam.
Okay.
In the eastern part, the influences were more of the major languages were mostly Tulu and Kannada and very less of Malayalam. So I decided to go with this particular region.
Wonderful. Somebody is Alifa Sharif is saying your presentation is really insightful. Okay.
Thank you, Afifa.
Okay. Acha, Afifa, all right, sorry. I think the audience, they're pretty satisfied and happy with the presentation. They don't have other comments. and questions. So should I go to the expert? And if they come up with some question, then we'll go ahead. I would request
Okay.
Professor Madhumita to give her suggestions and guidelines.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
Ritu Santh.
Yes, ma'am.
This
Ritu
paper
Shah.
has Santh. So this paper has a lot of, lot of things to be discussed on, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And since this is Sel, S-E-L, Sel, I'd like to go some very basic questions. I won't bring in the popular syntax part of it, because I too have done a lot of work on the popular construction Northeast India. But I'm more interested in this very particular area because India is really amazing. You think that only this part of the region has languages you need to investigate, but in Kerala and then border Karnataka, you have such interesting multilingual situation. Now, all these languages that you have referred to, both the major languages and the minor languages, they all belong to the Dravidian language family.
No, ma'am. Kannada, Tulu, Malayalam, and Koraga, they all belong to the South Dravidian family.
And the rest?
And Konkani, Marathi, these are Indo-Aryan languages.
Indo-Aryan languages.
But
there is
Konkani,
also
yes, ma'am.
Arabic. There
Yes.
is Urdu
Yes.
is Indo-Aryan. Okay.
Yes, Indo-Aryan. But Arabic influence, actually, I don't have linguistic data. So
Okay, we'll come to that
only
later.
literature says that. So
Yeah, and then because there is always an impact of the major language over the lesser known languages. So what is the population of these languages, the demographic situation?
the demographic situation, numerically, Tulu has always been the dominant language. Even now it is. And then comes Northern Kasaragod variety of Malayalam. Then in my particular region where the Minja Grama Panchayat specifically, then it would be Konkani speakers, then Kannada speakers, then Marathi speakers.
And what about the other languages, lesser known languages, the smaller groups?
The Koraga language speakers, they have all now shifted to Tulu. So we don't know actually. I mean, there is no intergenerational transfer. I could
But
not
about
even...
2011 census, does it show anything?
It show not for the Minja Grama Panchayat. I mean, Panchayat wise, there is no.
You should check on all this, and even the older census reports, there you will get some information that will help you, because definitely language shift is a problem that most of the languages are shifting to dominant language, at least in that locality area where you
Yes.
have it. So
Yes.
these are things which we have. So you said something about from multilingual, they come to bilingual, and then when they move to Tulu or Kannada, do they become monolingual?
Actually,
Because they're shifting.
yes, ma'am. Actually, the younger generation who are, I have collected data from different age groups, 5 to 50, 18 years old, then 18 to 35 years of old, 35 to 55, and 55 plus. So people who are below 18 years of age, they actually know their language, whichever their L1 is. Especially that is true for NKV Malayalam speakers. Tulu speakers, they would know Kannada as well. Konkani speakers would know English or Kannada, but no shift to Tulu. Tulu speakers would know their mother tongue L1 plus Kannada. But Malayalam speakers are predominantly becoming monolingual.
What about the lesser known languages? What's happening there? What is the scene there? Because they're shifting.
They are shifting to Tulu. The
Tulu.
Koraga speakers have completely shifted to Tulu. The Naiks community, they have completely shifted to Tulu. Also, the
Yeah.
Marathi speakers, they have also completely shifted to Tulu.
So again, the census report becomes important because in the census report, if you look into Malayalam, Tulu, Kannada, they could be official languages or state languages, right? So you have to find all these languages. If they're not official language, are they non-scheduled? Because scheduled languages are official languages. Non-scheduled languages, which has to have a population above 10,000. Do any of these community have population above 10,000? If not, then they come below 10,000, so they are endangered or maybe in various stages of endangerment. So that
Koraga is, but
yeah,
other languages, no.
they are all non-scheduled languages
Yes.
above
Tulu,
10,000.
yes, Tulu, yes. It is a non-scheduled
Okay,
language.
just a moment.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
So these are some things that is very interesting. You need to know. So when you look into all this, forgetting the syntax bit, because that is one area I'd like to talk to you in detail sometime. I don't know when. So what happens with the national new education policy? How does it work in this area? Any idea?
Actually, until 2021, there are actually 18 schools in this region, and I'm talking about specifically about Minja Grama Panchayat, and in that there are 9 government schools and 9 government aided schools. In all of these schools, historically it has been Kannada medium schools, and over time some of these schools, they have become like there are 2 mediums in the same school, one division of the class for Kannada medium and one for Malayalam medium. And the biggest school in the region, it is actually not a government school, it's a government aided school. And this school was built in 1850s, before 1900 actually. And that is run by the Kannada medium. It is a Kannada medium school and it is run by the Kannada management. It's actually run by the Brahmin community
So,
of the region, the Kannada
okay. So
speakers.
the medium of instruction is either Kannada, Tulu, Malayalam.
It is
right?
never Tulu. It is Kannada.
Never Tulu
Never
or
Tulu.
Malayalam.
It
So
is either
Tulu
Kannada or
is
Malayalam,
not a
mostly
schedule.
Kannada.
It's not a Tulu would not be a scheduled language. It wouldn't
Tulu
be a
is
scheduled language if it is not a scheduled language, which means because it is not a medium of instruction.
it is not in the 22 languages. Yes, it is not there in the 22 languages.
So if that is the case, is English taught in the schools?
English is
In
taught
this-
as one of the subjects. These are
Not as a medium of instruction.
not as a medium of instruction in any of the government schools.
Okay.
There are
Okay.
upcoming private schools, but none of the government schools
Yeah,
or
very
government aided
interesting.
schools.
Because this part of the country, most of the hill states have English as a medium of instruction.
Yes.
So it is not only the dominant language, it is also English, which is the
Yes.
second official language, which plays a role. So these are certain things that I think so you may have looked into. So if you could also come up with some write-up on this kind of issues, which are very general, so we understand very well why and at least the reasons for these languages to become endangered, whether you have Kannada or Malayalam or English as a medium of instruction, the issues are same, basically same throughout the country and maybe worldwide, not only here, even elsewhere it would be. So your agreement thing of this, you have spoken of in Coppola having an agreement. In Assamese, we don't have agreement with non-verbal predicates. It's only with the verbal predicates. And we have a strong agreement system. So this is very interesting. Another thing that I just have to mention here is that you have been saying, I don't know. especially some of the issues, like you said that where it came from, it could be either from Malayalam or it could be from the other language. So a little bit of diachronic investigation, if you have
About,
time.
I have, initially I had no clue about it. Then some of the readings later revealed that standard Malayalam is actually different from the South Dravidian languages with respect to subject-verb agreement or having the copula ana, having two copulas ana and unda and their distinctions, which are not there in other South Dravidian languages. So these are the features that standard Malayalam got it later. It was in the later phase of its evolution. It has got these features. So now my assumption is that NKV Malayalam retained the older Dravidian forms along with the other languages of the region. It has not
Okay.
shifted.
I have one last question. What is NKV?
Northern Kasaragod variety.
Okay. Okay. All the best
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
to you, Ritu. This will be a very interesting paper, especially the agreement thing that is happening, and there where you can see the old Malayalam and the new Malayalam coming through. And that too, again, the evidence is from syntax. The
Hopefully it
morphophonemic.
will be published soon, ma'am. It's under.
Yeah, it will be published. We need more publications of this kind.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, good presentation, very explicit. Good presentation. Vishaka, thank you.
Thank you,
Nice
Professor Madhumita. Thank you
meeting
so
you
much.
after a long time. Yeah. We'll
Thank you.
catch up. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. All the best, Ritu.
Thank
And
you.
Yeah.
it was really, really interesting. I really liked it, and I got exposure actually to that part, southern part of languages. Yeah, and all the best.
Thank
I
you very
hope
much.
the audience is very happy and they don't have many questions because you were so very.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
I do have a question.
oh, great. Please go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was a little late to join.
That's
I
okay.
could hear only this question and initially part I couldn't hear. And myself is Umalata and I'm basically from Kasaragod and
Yes,
have
ma'am.
been saying
Oh,
things
thank
about this. So Ritu ma'am was saying that actually here we have two mediums, right ma'am?
I couldn't hear, ma'am. What, ma'am?
You were referring that here in Kasaragod we are having two mediums, Kannada and Malayalam.
No, I was talking about the Minja Grama Panchayat specifically because I have visited schools of
Okay.
Minja Grama Panchayat.
Yeah. It is true. It is true. But actually in Kasaragod, it is not the situation actually. It is like we have three mediums.
Hello?
Professor Srikumar wants to say something.
There is some disturbance.
Is Professor Srikumar saying something? I think,
Uh,
yeah. So,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
No, I just wanted to add in Kasaragod, actually, we have three mediums, recognized three mediums. Malayalam is also there as a whole. Kasaragod, not Minja Panchayat. I'm saying
Yes,
as a whole.
yes. As a whole, yes, ma'am. In the southern,
And
actually, a lot of schools, there are Malayalam
Yeah.
medium schools, innumerable number of Malayalam medium schools. Even in Manjeshwaram, it is there. But in Minja
Yeah.
Grama Panchayat, we could not find it.
And in Manjeshwaram, we also have a school where we have Tulu, ma'am.
Oh,
Not as a
that I
medium.
did not know.
Yeah,
There is a
not
Tulu
as a-
medium school or
No, not Tulu
Tulu,
medium. But as a
Tulu's
medium.
taught us
Yeah.
one of the languages.
Tulu is taught over there, and Tulu is also practiced for different purposes like assembly, all of those
Okay,
things.
okay. Yeah, ma'am, could you remember the name of this particular school? Because Manjeshwaram also, I have visited some schools, but I don't have data from all the schools, unlike Minja.
I would send you that actually.
Okay.
I forgot the name. I have it. I will send you through LinkedIn. I have your contact with that.
Okay.
Then
Thank
we
you.
also have certain schools actually in tribal area like Panatur,
Yes,
where
yes,
it is their tribal languages are being taught. It is Egadhyabaga Vidyalangal.
Yes.
Vedika
That
also
would
we
be
have.
in Talekala and Paivalige. In Talekala, there are
Yes.
some schools like that.
Yeah, Paivaligi also it is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Not I was talking about Panatur area.
Yes, yes.
Then we also have in Badiadka. Their
Bededka.
tribal language.
Actually, for
Koragal,
the initial
Marathi.
piloting study, I have visited these places. Paivalike, Talekala,
Yeah.
Bededka. When
Yeah,
in
yeah.
all their language situation is also a little different. It's
Yeah.
mostly Kannada and Tulu and less of Malayalam.
Yeah, less of Malayalam. They reserve Malayalam for professional, and for all
Yes,
other purpose they use Tulu and other
yes,
things.
yes, ma'am.
But their hereditary indigenous languages are preserved and taught to an
Yes,
extent in primary levels.
in primary school. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am.
Thank
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Mr. Shri Kumar, please go ahead.
Hello, I have a question. Yeah, it was a nice presentation.
Thank
I
you, sir.
think I would just like to know if the agreement that is shift towards agreement in Malayalam in those areas would would we taking morphosyntactic forms from the other languages? Like you mentioned that for the verb to know, it is the Kannada or Tulu form, which is I think something like Gottu, no? That is being
Gottu. Gottu and
That is
Gontu.
yeah, that is being adapted into Malayalam, right? So
That is actually that example was about the verb form that
uh,
the lexical item, the verbal lexical item, that is the common root, the gonta or the gotta, because in Malayalam the root word for to know would be ariyam,
yeah, but yeah,
ariyuka, and the
probably
inflectional marker is from the respective languages. Say for example in Konkani it is gottasa. Asa
yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
marker.
Yeah, no. I thought probably it might be interesting to know whether whenever the you see there is a shift towards adopting agreement markers in Malayalam spoken in that area. So would
Actually, now
so
I think it is not about a shift, because
mm,
even the older inscriptions of Malayalam, it shows that Malayalam also had subject-verb agreement previously.
yeah,
But
Malayalam
in their
yeah,
evolution to standard Malayalam, yes,
wait. No, of course, Malayalam had it in the older forms, but then those forms were not, as far as I know, very different from the forms which you had in
yes,
Tamil,
definitely. Yes,
right? So
yes,
these forms are quite different, isn't it?
yes, definitely.
So then probably the influence could be the substratum
Thank you.
languages over
You
there.
can give example from Enki.
Excuse me,
Sorry, I
ma'am?
don't know whether I'm audible.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
you can also talk about exoskeletal model a little bit, so that it is, you can explain this.
And I think, sir, sir, your question was?
No,
One second.
yeah, my query was
Yes,
whether the base for verbs that exhibit agreement are dependent on the other languages that are spoken over there rather than the Malayalam forms.
We have lost connection with her.
Yeah, actually, it is. We have a bad connectivity on the campus. Even I'm, logged out several times. Maybe it is. Maybe what she's saying, it's the skeleton of the language and influence of other languages. That is why I asked her to talk about the model that she is using.
Okay.
I mean, we have selected this particular model because it can explain the data, and the interface with Kannada and Tulu. How Kannada and Tulu are,
Yeah.
directly in a contact with Malayalam, and as a result, some, mixture is. So it's about language mixing.
Yeah.
And for explaining language mixing, we can adopt different models. I should not say this because as a
That's all right. I mean, Aishi's here. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. So
Yeah.
I could not hear the discussion that happened. I got logged out somehow. So I have joined through my phone now. Actually, what I wanted to tell was, yes, as you have suggested, even some of these inflectional markers, they are actually not the old markers that we used to have in the older version of
Old
Malayalam.
Malayalam. Yeah.
Yes. those inflectional markers were closer to the Tamil markers. Yes, that is
Yeah.
true. And we could actually, from some of the works in Dravidian, South Dravidian languages, we could find some similarities to Koraga markers actually.
Yeah.
Inflectional markers in Koraga. But we do not know, we cannot find Koraga in this particular region. We could not find Koraga speakers now because, as I have mentioned, they have all shifted to Tulu. But the older descriptive grammars, not grammars, but descriptive papers on Koraga, these inflectional markers do have similarities with NKV Malayalam. But I haven't mentioned this in this presentation because even I do not have very specific answers to such questions now. And
Okay.
it is also it's a work in progress.
Yeah, so they could be the substratal influences, right?
Yes, could be.
Yeah. Okay, that's okay. Then I just was wondering about your clefting things, clefting examples that you have cited. You say that when you have clefted constructions in these languages, including Malayalam, you cannot have scrambling later, right? You cannot have scrambling after obtaining the basic order of clefted versions. Okay.
In NKV Malayalam, we cannot have. It has
In
all.
NKV,
It is in all
in
the
NKV,
examples that I found.
yeah, you have
It
to
was
have
in,
the focused constituent at the clause endal position. Okay.
yes,
And that is also true of the other languages spoken over there.
yes.
Uh, I was just curious to know if you have a particular kind of construction you have which is quite related to clefting, which comes out of as something like ഞാൻ ഇന്നലെ വന്നതാണ്.
ഞാൻ ഇന്നലെ വന്നതാണ്. Okay.
ഞാൻ ഇന്നലെ അവനെ കണ്ടതാണ്. Can you have any similar construction in those languages? This is not exactly a clefted question, but it's not exactly a clefted construction. But you may consider it as the source for deriving clefts.
I cannot translate in NKV Tulu or Kannada, but in NKV Malayalam, as far as I understand, it will not have ana. Instead, it would be like ഞാൻ ഇന്നലെ തന്നെ അവനെ കണ്ടത്. ഞാൻ ഇന്നലെ തന്നെ അവനെ കണ്ടത്, but with phonological differences.
No, that is another variant of the clefted construction, you may say. You are supplying the focus marker there. Tanne is the focus marker.
Tanne is a lexical element.
Yeah, it's a lexical element which emphasizes a particular constituent.
For any emphasis, yes, tanne is used. Yes.
Yeah. So when you don't have the copula focus marker, tanne may be taking its place.
In NKV Malayalam, yes.
Yeah.
But in other languages, I don't have data, and I'm not a native speaker of any of the other languages, and I'm just speaking of those languages. So.
No. My basic question was whether you can have a construction with which can be something of the sort that I told you. ഞാൻ ഇന്നലെ അവനെ കണ്ടതാണ്.
In Malayalam, yes, this would be the one.
But
in Kannada or Tulu, I don't know in this conversation if we have any Kannada or Tulu speakers who could give an insight into it.
No, are you familiar with this kind of a construction? ഞാൻ ഇന്നലെ അവനെ കണ്ടതാണ്. We use it very often in Malayalam. ഞാൻ അവനെ ഇന്നലെ കണ്ടതാണ്. ഞാൻ ഇത് ഇന്നലെ വാങ്ങിയതാണ്. That is not exactly constructions, right? That's not exactly a clefted construction.
I don't know, sir. I will have to check.
No, actually, I have used it as the source for clefting long back.
Sir, if I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kannada, I think this is possible. I have heard many using similar forms.
Uh-huh.
Tulu, I am
And
not
how would
as
the form be, ma'am?
absolutely same. Just ನಾನು ಇದು ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಲಿಸಿದದು. ನಾನು ಇದು ಇನ್ನೆಲೆ like same
Yeah.
almost the same manner. Kannada, I have heard many of my
No,
Yes.
Umalata, the problem is, yeah, Kannada may have it, but then they might, claim that it is a kind of clefted, it is the, uh, a kind of clefted construction. That is the problem. In Telugu also, I have seen you have a construction of that form. But then most of the speakers or most of the linguists would say that it's a clefted construction rather.
What is
But
not a clefted construction? What would you suggest it would be, sir?
it's not a clefted construction. It's rather the whole proposition which is underlying it that is getting focused over there. That is, you can consider what could be the source of a clefted construction, right? Which is an unclefted part of that sentence, and that is getting focused over in this kind of a construction. So for clefting, you may use it as the underlying source.
I'll have to check, sir. Even I thought it would be a clefted construction.
same.
Then what is the focused element there in that construction? You have to think about it. Okay, you may think about it later.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
ഞാൻ ഇന്നലെ
think
അവനെ കണ്ടു.
time period.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I
You may
think
give a thought to it anyway. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think Ritu, you got real good suggestions. I mean,
Yes, sir.
very
Yes, ma'am.
insightful ones, and you are beneficial in this presentation. Okay. Is there any more questions from the audience? I think we are done. So all the best, Ritu.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, audience. Thank you so much. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you.